BeefQ's aims are to develop a beef carcass eating quality grading system for Wales and enable eating quality improvement and brand differentiation of PGI Welsh beef. Currently in the UK and EEC, cattle are graded under the Europe grid, an assessment which measures fat class and conformation and provides industry with an indication of meat yield. The BeefQ Wales eating quality-based grading system provides an accurate prediction of eating quality by cut. When taken together, a much more comprehensive appraisal of the quality of the carcass is achieved. BeefQ's aims will be achieved by 1. Training. A group of trainees from across the Welsh beef industry have been trained to assess carcass characteristics that can be used to help predict eating quality. Some of the animal information can be gathered from the carcass tag, for example, sex, carcass weight and kill date. Marbling or intramuscular fat is measured at the rib eye. Marbling has a positive impact on eating quality.
We start to look at the meat colour of the animal and the fat colour of the animal. And those traits are important, not because they impact on eating quality, but because they impact on consumer preference. And because marbling does impact on eating quality. It impacts on the flavour, the juiciness and the tenderness of a piece of meat.
Ultimate pH is measured as high pH meat has inconsistent eating quality, coarse texture and reduced shelf life.
Ultimate pH is important because it can affect the rate that the animal ages post-mortem, it affects the water holding capacity and it affects the dryness and the colour of the meat as well.
Rib fat is measured and fat distribution over the carcass is assessed. An adequate level of fat coverage helps prevent dehydration and cold shortening on the surface of some cuts. Ossification is when the cartilage in the spine starts to turn to bone and is an indication of the physiological maturity of an animal. It is measured because eating quality declines as ossification increases.
What ossification is when the cartilage in the spinal processes start to turn to bone. So they start to ossify. And that starts in the sacral vertebra, so in the tail of the animal, and it moves its way down through the lumbar vertebra and into the thoracic vertebra. And we can put a number on the maturity of the animal based on the amount of ossification that we see.
Eye muscle area can also be measured as it gives an indication of yield, and meat colour and fat colour are measured in response to consumer preference. All of this information can then be entered into a prediction model to predict the eating quality of individual muscles on the carcass. We need to know the quality of the beef Wales produces. So 2,000 beef carcasses have been characterised in terms of age, sex and breed and graded for predicting eating quality. The data is currently being analysed.
As beef producers, I think it's important to appreciate that the final consumer ultimately is our customer. So if we can offer them consistent, high quality eating experience, then it's going to give them increased reassurance and confidence to come back and do repeat purchase, which is great for us.
Consumer tasting is vital to ensure that the excellent eating experience the customer wants and is willing to pay a premium for is delivered. That is, juiciness, tenderness, flavour and overall liking. 90 sides from 60 representative carcasses were selected for testing with consumers. They were butchered, prepared and packed using an internationally standardised methodology and overseen by Australian experts. The purpose of this was to validate a beef eating prediction model, similar to those used in Australia and New Zealand, for Welsh beef and UK consumers.
What we're after for the end user is a consistent product. So they come in one week, they have a fantastic steak. You want them to have that experience every single time. So if BeefQ can offer us the parameters where we can have consistent beef, that's basically what we're all after. You need a soft mouthfeel, a really good fat that's well flavoured and a really juicy, tender steak. Consistency obviously helps us with repeat custom. Repeat custom is great for us. More people on seats, the more beef we're going through, helps the farmers. The full circle is complete with that.
A total of 1,200 consumers have sampled 8,400 pieces of beef. That's 60 consumers sampling and rating 7 pieces of beef at 20 events. Involving students from catering and agriculture courses has ensured that the next generation sees how to develop an eating quality system and grasps the importance of consumer satisfaction in developing a high-value and sustainable beef industry. This is an important part of the project's legacy.
There are challenges out there going forward for the beef industry, but there are some real opportunities as well. And we must be delivering consistent quality each and every time for Welsh PGI beef. And with the BeefQ project, I think that delivers that consistency. There's a lot of science behind this, there's a lot of work gone into this, and we really need to pick up the best parts of it and move forward as an industry. We're never going to be the cheapest, but we can be the best.